Lisa Donovan had spent her entire adult life meticulously building her career as a fashion designer in bustling Lagos. Her dream had always been to launch her own clothing line, but that dream had taken a back seat when she met Daniel. Daniel wasn't just any man. He was charming, successful, and had a kind of magnetic confidence that made Lisa fall for him almost immediately. He was also a widower with a 10-year-old son, Ethan, who was his entire world. When Lisa agreed to marry Daniel, she knew Ethan was part of the package. She thought she was ready for the challenge of becoming a stepmother. She pictured herself taking Ethan to soccer games, helping him with homework, and having family dinners filled with laughter. What she didn't know was that Ethan had other plans. The first time Ethan showed signs of resistance was subtle. On their second date, Daniel brought Ethan along to meet Lisa at a park. Lisa had spent hours planning the perfect picnic. She brought Ethan's favorite snacks, according to Daniel, peanut butter sandwiches and chocolate milk. But Ethan refused to eat, crossing his arms and glaring at her the entire time. Daniel laughed it off, saying, "He's just shy around new people." Lisa tried to bond with Ethan. She took him to amusement parks, bought him the latest video games, and even learned to bake cookies, something she'd never done before. But every effort seemed to backfire. Ethan would either ignore her, throw tantrums, or create scenarios that made her look bad in front of Daniel. One night, after dinner, Lisa overheard Ethan talking to his father. "I don't like her," he said bluntly. "Why can't it just be us again? It was better when it was just you and me." Daniel sighed. "Ethan, Lisa is going to be part of our family now. She loves you too." Ethan's voice turned icy. "She's not my family." Lisa's heart sank. She didn't sleep that night, replaying Ethan's words in her head. Things took a darker turn after Lisa and Daniel got married. Small, inexplicable incidents began to occur. Lisa would find her favorite dresses torn, her makeup smeared, and her work sketches ruined. At first, she thought it was a coincidence. Then she noticed that these things only happened when Ethan was around. One evening, she walked into the kitchen to find Ethan pouring salt into a pot of soup she'd spent hours preparing for a client's event. When she confronted him, he smirked and said, "It was an accident." Lisa tried to talk to Daniel about Ethan's behavior, but he was dismissive. "He's just adjusting," he said. "You need to give him time." Time, however, only made things worse. Ethan became more cunning. He would pretend to be sweet and affectionate when Daniel was around, only to revert to his hostile behavior when they were alone. He started telling lies about Lisa, accusing her of yelling at him or refusing to feed him. Daniel, torn between his wife and his son, began to grow distant from Lisa. One fateful afternoon, Lisa's breaking point arrived. She was hosting an important meeting with investors for her new clothing line. The meeting was at their home, and she had meticulously prepared everything to impress her guests. Ethan, however, had other plans. While Lisa was presenting her designs, Ethan sneaked into the room with a water gun filled with bright blue ink. He sprayed it across her sketches, laughing maniacally as the investors gasped in horror. "Ethan!" Lisa screamed, grabbing the water gun from him. "What is wrong with you?" Daniel rushed in, his face a mix of confusion and anger. "What's going on here?" Ethan burst into tears. "She yelled at me, Dad. She said I'm a mistake and that I ruin everything." Lisa's mouth fell open. "I never said that." The investors, clearly uncomfortable, excused themselves. Lisa's career-defining moment had been ruined. Later that night, Lisa confronted Daniel. "Your son has been sabotaging me from the start, and you refuse to see it. He's manipulating you, Daniel. This can't go on." Daniel looked on. "Lisa, he's just a child. He's been through so much. Losing his mom, having to adjust to a new family. Lisa's voice cracked. And what about me? Am I supposed to just endure this forever? You need to set boundaries, Daniel. For both our sakes. Daniel promised to talk to Ethan, but the damage was already done. Lisa's trust in their relationship had been eroded, and her patience was wearing thin. The turning point came when Lisa discovered a letter tucked under her pillow. It was in Ethan's handwriting, and it read, "Dear Lisa, I don't hate you. I just miss my mom, and I'm scared you're trying to replace her. But I see now that you're not bad. I'm sorry for everything." Tears streamed down Lisa's face as she read the letter. She realized that beneath Ethan's defiance was a scared, grieving boy who didn't know how to process his emotions. Lisa decided to approach Ethan differently. She stopped trying to win him over with gifts and activities. Instead, she started having honest conversations with him, sharing stories about her own struggles and fears. Slowly but surely, Ethan began to open up. He told her about his mom, his fears of being forgotten, and his anger at his dad for moving on so quickly. It took months, but the relationship between Lisa and Ethan began to heal. By the time Lisa launched her clothing line, Ethan was her biggest cheerleader. At the grand opening, he surprised her with a heartfelt speech, saying, "Lisa taught me that family isn't about who you lose. It's about who stays and loves you no matter what." Daniel hugged them both, tears in his eyes. For the first time in years, they felt like a real family. Lisa's journey with Ethan hadn't been easy, but it had taught her the true meaning of resilience, patience, and unconditional love. And in the end, it was worth every tear and every struggle.